I mean, I could have risked it for him a couple of times.
Rappers do this all the time. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Take one, 3, 2, 1, recording. What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Tobing Kanye, product of the East himself, king of Southern Streets, who else? The only boy who drinks his Fanta just like James Bond. Shaken, not stirred. And welcome to the #1 podcast in Eastern Cape. But we're not in Eastern Cape no more, brother.
No, we not, sir.
Where we at, bro?
Bro, in the city of Joburg,
I feel like I thought you were going to say secret location or something.
Nah, people gotta know, bro.
They gotta know.
They gotta know. Where we at in Joburg, my
Where
bro?
we at?
Where we at? Amp Studios.
Let's go. We're going to say a big shout out to Amp Studios for putting us on, man. We are super happy to be here all the way from Eastern Cape.
Let's go.
It is truly a blessing. Brother Bear,
Yes, sir.
listen, man. Yeah, we're chilling in Joburg. I'm in Joburg working, and you know I need money. But Brother Bear, who are we chilling with in Joburg? Ooh, I'm too nice.
Nah, bro. Listen. Guys.
Yeah.
Today, and we can finally say in studio, we've got a very beautiful guest. Probably your favorite DJ.
Yes, true.
Your mama's favorite DJ.
Bro, your crush's favorite DJ. If you're not playing her music, you're not getting her.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go.
And today, we have the talented Ms Cosmo. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful.
Don't get nervous now. I know. He told me before this. Like, he doesn't know if he's going to speak in front of you or not.
Look at, bro, I'm legit a meter away from Ms Cosmo. If I wasn't going to get sued, I'd just, touch the arm.
That's literally like your star power that you have, man. Like, what is like those experiences? Do you still go around and people like just want to touch you? People want to take pictures with you?
Hey, unfortunately, in COVID, they mustn't touch me. But yeah, I mean, I think I still get it when I go to like out of Joburg most of the time. That's when I experience it. Yeah, I think being in Joburg, I can still kind of like be myself, be normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever since a lot of celebrities do it, and sometimes you're like, okay, I don't really want to be greeted today. Just like go incognito. Got your things on.
Yeah, I think everybody has those days because you don't want to be seen all the time. So I mean, when I go to like buy groceries and things like that, I don't want to be bothered. But thank God for COVID because now I can wear a mask and I can hide. I can wear hats and glasses and no one can see
People don't even
me.
know they're walking next to Ms Cosmo.
Exactly.
But how does it feel being Ms Cosmo? And because I know people are here, Ms Cosmo, but you're Ms Cosmo. Do you ever get that moment where you're like, oh, now I've made it?
Yeah.
No, I think also because I'm still trying to like push and hustle my way forward and trying to do so much stuff. It's never been one of those things that I've had to sit back and be like, yo, this is who I am. For me, I'm going to work and I'm making sure that the coins communicate.
Yay!
When you look at this life that you're in now, is it all worth it? Are you like, yeah, I really wanted the fame and the money and things like that? Or is it not as glamorous as people think it is?
I mean, it's great. I mean, every job has its ups and downs. I think also because I have that experience of having worked a 9 to 5, I realize every job has its ups and downs. But yeah, man, I'm enjoying what I do. I mean, I've been doing it for years now, so I don't think I would ever turn back to go back into working into a corporate space. I'm enjoying where I am, and yeah, I think everybody needs to kind of, if you're gonna get into this industry, you must also understand that there are times where it's gonna get tough. Like last year was a very tough year. But yeah, I mean, if you stick it out, you'll be good.
We really had a problem last year, no, him and I are struggling artists. We struggled even more because of COVID.
Yeah.
But how did you manage to cope? Because a lot of people did start new things. We started a podcast. Someone else in this room started a podcast. I won't say who. But how did you guys start coping without being able to tour and do all those things?
It was definitely difficult. I think everybody kind of turned towards a digital space because digital seems like the new way or the new currency of kind of doing things. It was obviously a very weird time financially because a lot of us also, as artists, that you make your money by being in front of people, being in crowded places. So it's still very difficult, I think, even for performance artists because they still can't go to big events and perform. A lot of places right now only cater for DJs. So it's very tricky for actual performers because they don't get to make as much money. right now. I mean, if they do take performances, they're doing like appearances and things like that. So it's still very tough for them. But it was just a time where we had to innovate. We had to be creative. We had to think about how else can I navigate my way through this weird time. How else can I make money? And I think it was what helped also at that point in time is that the whole world was going through it. So a lot of companies were also very open to how else can we make things work without having to be in a public space where you are working with companies that usually host events. Now they can't host events, so now they're thinking of other ways to do those things and then include us within those conversations as well. So we're doing online campaigns, we're doing digital content, podcasting, the like online concerts, things like that were also kind of helping out. So it was a little by little here and there, but it
Yeah.
was definitely tough.
Yeah, when the tough get going, the tough get moving. What?
Nah.
I don't know.
When
Say
the
the
going
English.
gets tough, the tough get
Yeah,
going.
well,
Oh, okay, okay.
Ms. Cosmo
She's gonna
just
come
make
to the show. That's
music.
cool as one time.
Yes, man.
But she's calling everybody lately,
Let's
man.
go.
Miss Cosmo, do you know that you are a hip hop OG?
Wow. You're making me feel old.
But what I mean is, the kids are looking up to you right now, and everybody, man. And you're a huge influence for women. You know what I'm
Let's go.
saying? I want to ask two questions. Firstly, how does it feel knowing that there's a generation of women looking up to you? And what piece of advice you would give younger self?
um, I think women need to keep persevering. They need to work a little bit harder. One thing I always feel within the entertainment industry is that the women have a lot of guts. They have a lot of passion, and half of the time when we get into an entertainment space, we always have to work twice as hard as the guys because we're female. So we always have to look the part. We have to sound the part. We have to present ourselves. We can't be slacking on the job. Otherwise, immediately we get dropped. Whereas guys get second chances all the time, which is quite frustrating for females. So any woman who wants to come into the space needs to know that they need to have thick skin,
Yeah.
they need to work hard, and they need to hustle like they've never hustled before. Because you're not going to maintain yourself in this industry if you're going to slack or if you're going to just, not really put in as much effort as you're supposed to. Because you'll find like even like a stage performance, a woman has to have a new outfit every day. They need to have makeup, hair. Those things are expensive. Whereas guys come and they're just wearing their track suits from last night and then they perform and they go home. So already that in itself is putting us at a back end. So I think shout outs to the women who are doing it right now, because a lot of the women who are killing it in the game are all independent artists. Not that many females are actually signed artists. So shout outs to the women who are doing it themselves.
Let's go.
And yeah, I think if you're gonna get into this, you gotta be ready.
What's one situation that you were like, nah, this is unfair to us women, you know what I'm saying? Because you've said this thing before about you have to have like a different outfit. And certain people don't know that. Certain people that you showed up at, for guys, both, you know what I'm saying? And guys normally do that. They're not aware that women have to go through those things. So what's a situation where you were in and you were like, no, man, but you wouldn't do this to the guys?
Yeah.
Um, Jeez, I can't even think of like a specific thing. For instance, I can give an example of somebody else who I felt was ridiculed unnecessarily. For instance, when the situation with Nadia happened on social media, where she was having just a personal moment with her boyfriend, she went to I think she went to like a lodge or whatever to go and do massages or whatever the case may be. They took a picture afterwards and posted it. But obviously, when you go to like those retreats, you're not gonna come there with a full face beat because who you doing a face beat for?
Yeah.
And then everybody was just like, "Oh my gosh, is this what Nadia looks like? What?" And it's like, number one, you've messed with her self esteem. Number two, you've made her insecure. You could have sent her to depression. All because you've chosen to be a troll because she's chosen to be her normal self in that intimate moment where she chose to share that on social media. And it's unfair because a guy can literally just look like crap and he can be in a public space and no one will judge him for it. But because it's Nadia and you want her to look like a doll at every point that you see her, it's completely unfair. I don't think that should be something that should be ridiculed, but rather you just look at it and say, okay, well, she's looking like Nadia herself today, not necessarily Nadia, the stage performer. It's happened a lot, even for me. I remember not so often obviously, but I mean, I had one instance where I was playing at a gig and it was a Thursday night. The gig was empty. There must have been like two people there, but obviously I need to dress up, I need to put on the face, I must do, I must look good. And there was another DJ there who played after me, and he was like, yo, I'm going straight back to sleep. And I was like, ish. And I didn't want, and I told him I didn't want to be there because I mean, like, some gigs you just don't want to be there,
Yeah.
and he was like, yo, and the way you had to put all of this on just to come to this gig. And I was like, imagine, like, it's unfair that I have to literally sit for a whole hour to put myself together, and then I get there and there's only like one person at the
Man.
party.
Is there progress though? Is like are people working towards making those situations better?
No, not. It's actually getting worse
It is.
because of social media. It's getting worse, so it's an unfortunate thing. But the reason why I keep bringing it up as a topic is because I want people to be aware that we're also human. We also have feelings. You can't troll us every day just because you want us to look like a Barbie 24/7. At some point, I want to look like myself, and that's why I'm saying shout outs to COVID for the masks, because then I can be myself without
go.
having to worry about someone taking a picture. Like, that's also a thing. Like, now I can't be in a mall and take a picture with someone, and then when they post it, then they're gonna be like, "Aye, what's going on, Uwile? Angwanga. I just don't want to,
Hey,
put it
hey.
on for the day. It's a lot of work. I won't lie.
A lot of people don't realize that. And being one of the first females who pioneered it for the other females that you see now, how did you feel when you started seeing, for example, abantu abafana no Tuli Pongo, look, going into the
Yeah.
space and then they just killing? How did you feel threatened? About, okay, now they're taking my shine.
Not really. I mean, look, I was on the fence about it initially because for me, I support anybody who goes into something because they're passionate about it. So the reason why I was on the fence is because for me, I need to analyze whether you're going in with it for genuine reasons. So do you really love music? Do you really want to be a DJ? Is this something that you've always wanted to do? Because if you're going to use your celebrity to then get gigs, that's where I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
trikinyana. But if I know that you are actually, transitioning and you are expanding yourself as a person, because as a creative, you're allowed to try out different things, and nobody can stop you from doing that. So if this is one of those things that's always been something that you wanted to get into, by all means, I'll support it. I mean, the same way everybody had questions about boity, where they were like, "Oh, now she's rapping. What's going on?" I won't lie. I've admitted this a couple of times. In the beginning, I was also just like, "Okay, what's going on?"
Yeah.
But as I started like getting to understand what she was going through, that's when I was like, "Yo, I'm a big supporter." So, as long as you're genuine about it, I'll have your back. But if I feel like you just want to
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
take the gigs,
Yeah.
then it's tricky.
I feel you. And did you ever like speak to Point? Like, hey, why did you transition from?
Yeah, and that's why I'm able to now support her and actually have her on like feature on one of my singles. Is because when you get to actually figure out, or you speak and you interview somebody and you ask them, okay, but why now? Why didn't you do this earlier? Or why did you not feel like this was something that you could have started with? And you realize that people go through different things at different times and different transitions. You know what I mean? So it doesn't happen immediately for everybody.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm also pretty much the same. I mean, I've been DJing and I was on radio for the longest time. I only started releasing music like 2 3 years ago, whereas other DJs started long ago, and it wasn't something that I wanted to run into. It was something I wanted to take my time with. So it's
Why do
just
people assume that like female artists are always beefing with each other, and then it's such a surprise when you hear, oh, we're actually friends?
Yeah.
do you know who people are? Men.
She looked straight in my eyes. She said
Yeah,
that.
bro. She's like, no. You are the problem.
Yeah, because when you say people think women don't like each other, and then women come back and say we actually do like each other, who's the problem?
Okay.
Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? So men are the ones who like to pit us against each other, because for them, they feel if there's no competition, then nobody should be at the top.
But isn't that hip hop though? Because they're not doing,
It is,
they're not doing that in other
and
genres.
there's nothing wrong with that. Hip hop is a competitive sport.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we have to hate each other. If you're gonna play against a different team, doesn't mean you hate the guy on the other side.
sir.
You're just playing the sport because it is what it is. It's the game. You know what I mean? I've played sport all my life. Just because I play against another team doesn't mean I want them to die or whatever the case. You know what I mean?
You just wanna
It's
win.
just it's the day, and whoever wins on that day wins on that day.
It's
And
not like you want to challenge them to a boxing match.
do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, hip hop is competitive, but we don't have to hate each other. And I think we need to take away from that narrative that one person has to be at the top.
Yeah.
The pie is big enough for everybody. Trust
Straight
me.
up.
Oh,
Trust me.
As
oh.
a
Are we getting the pie?
I mean, you're trying to.
Let's
That's how
go.
let's go,
you know what I
champ.
mean.
As a hip hop lover, man, I honestly like as a true. I think sometimes I can even be toxic myself when I'm looking at hip hop
Can
and
be.
I'm like, yo, this is hip hop. Drop a diss track. You know what I'm saying? I think
Mm.
I'm one of those people. I just want to say thank you for creating platforms like Popcast. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
There you are truly expressing what is hip hop and you're showing to us that yo, it's really evolving. How
Mm.
did that start, man? And I know there was some. I feel like there was some background tension as well, especially when Speedster left. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
Not
And
even.
no, okay. But like even when Scoop left, when he was like, I'm not lazy, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
can feel that that comes from background conversations.
I
Mm.
mean, yeah, obviously, when you're working with like four different egos in one room, there's
Mm.
definitely going to be a disagreement.
Mm.
Whether there was tension, no, there was no tension. Popcast started because we all love the game, we all love
Mm.
hip hop, we all love the culture, we all wanted to contribute a little bit more to it.
Mm.
The only reason why things kind of why we lost certain members,
Yeah.
Speedster initially lost. Well, he chose to leave us. we
Yeah.
didn't we didn't ask him to leave. He
Yeah.
chose to leave,
Mm.
and that was his own
For the most
personal
part.
reasons. It's because I think he was overwhelmed. He probably had a lot on his plate,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
at that point in time, I think from a timing perspective of when we record and things like that, it was just getting a bit too much for him.
Yeah.
But we're still good. I mean, like everybody still supports Speedster. I mean, we went to shoot at his skate shop even after he left.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we have no bad blood for him, and we can't stop somebody when they want to clear out the clutter in their own lives.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So he needed to do that for himself, and it's all love. You know?
Do you hate hip
Um,
hop now, Loki? Because
why would I
especially
hate
after
it?
the
Thank you.
MC list thing
Oh.
and some of the comments y'all get for the podcast, the
No, I'll
podcast.
never hate hip hop. I hate the people who talk about hip hop.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
Mm.
apologize, Ms Cosmo.
Yeah,
I
must always
apologize.
remember that there's always somebody who ruins it for everybody,
Mm.
and it's always the trolls. The trolls are the problem,
Mm.
and that's the issue. So I think if you're able to separate the game and you're able to separate the people who are just loudmouths behind a phone who don't really have much to do with their lives besides
Yeah.
tweet, then you realize that there's more to it than that. And I wouldn't
Mm.
still be here talking about hip hop if I hated it, you
Mm.
know. But yeah, I just think, um, especially with things like the list, and especially with people who have difference of opinions,
Yeah.
everybody can have a difference of opinion. I'm not expecting everyone to like the music that I like. I don't expect
Mm.
everyone to have the same favorite artist that I have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you have difference of opinion, the same way in soccer, you can be a Chelsea fan and someone else is
Yeah.
a Man U fan,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you both love the game.
I feel like it's so early to bring that up after yesterday's loss, but
Hey.
it's okay.
Hey.
No,
I
it's fine. It's fine.
mean, it is what it is.
But you know, like with things like beef, because in hip hop there is bound to be beefs, you know, and you see like with things like with AKA and Casper, Ricky and Cass, do you ever find yourself being caught between two people you love and you're like, okay,
Mm.
now I feel like I have to choose,
Maybe
especially with AKA and Cass because like theirs is
No.
maybe
very
Scoop and Speedster. You know, I don't, I don't
There was no beef
Hey,
there. Stop
hey.
creating beef. Stop creating drama where there's no drama. Firstly, there's no drama between
Hey.
those two. Those two love each other. They actually hang out with each other more often on the weekend than I probably see Speedster.
Hey.
But yeah, so I don't necessarily get myself caught up. I also choose not to
Mm.
because it just doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve my job. It doesn't serve the game.
Mm.
But I mean, there are times, obviously, when you are sitting there and then you're just like, hey, which side do we kind of,
Yeah.
But for me, I think it's at the end of the day, it's about my personal relationships with different people. Obviously, if I have a closer relationship with one guy as opposed to another guy,
That's
it
who
might
you
sway
with.
me, but it doesn't take away my love for the other person's music because I still
Mm.
jam everybody's songs. So,
Oh, that's beautiful.
What are the artists you listening to right now?
locally or internationally?
Locally, we don't local.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Keep it
okay.
here. Keep it here.
I listen to whatever's out right now. I was obviously bumping the MT because that's the recent drop
Let's
that,
go,
that
champ.
that came out. I'm loving a lot of singles. I like the work that Blackie's putting out. Blackie's like one of my faves right now, so shout outs to him and the work he's putting out. I'm quite
Shout out
keen
to
to
you, bro.
hear the project because I think that's gonna come out real soon.
Mm.
I've always been a big fan of Golden Black. So I like that they've now dropped another single as well. There's some kids from Durban, so check them out. Who else? Yeah, I guess whenever there's like new music, I always just have to listen to it, obviously from a radio perspective.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the spirit of new music, you
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
And since you love music, I was wondering what's your take on listening to underground people?
Yeah.
And to sometimes people underground kids come to you like, yo, listen, can I just play my song for you? You know what I'm saying? How do you feel when that happens?
It's always tricky because they always have wrong timing.
Ah.
They always come to me when I'm rushing into a gig or I'm rushing out of a gig. So
Mm.
I hardly ever get a chance to listen when someone approaches me up front.
Yeah.
And I might end up looking like a bitch, but it's not intentional.
It's
Mm.
not intentional, guys.
It's literally just you have bad timing.
I
Look at
Miss
her
Cosmo
call
would never.
sheets,
I'm on my
guys.
out. I'm on my way out, or I'm on my way in. It's unfortunate. I just don't
Yeah.
have the time. But what I do is I ask them to at least email me because I will pay attention to my emails at least at some points in the week.
Yeah.
So that's why I insist on that because if you give me a CD, I upfront actually I even tell them all the time. I say don't give me this thing because I won't listen to it.
Yeah.
Like I'm being frank because
Okay.
I don't want you to feel like you gave it to me and then I mised you.
Yeah.
No, don't give me the CD. Don't give me the USB.
Yeah.
Sometimes the USB ends up being a USB for me and not for your
Hey.
songs.
Just delete
All the,
everything.
all the artists don't buy USBs no more.
You know what I mean? So be careful if that's what you're gonna do. But I honestly listen to music that is sent to me on email because that's also it makes it easier for me to kind of click, search through the song, listen to the parts that I think are dope. If I think it's trash, then obviously next to the next email that comes along.
When East London artists heard that we were gonna interview you, right?
Yeah.
They requested, ne,
Yes, sir.
that we play your music. Many
Okay.
people, many their music to you.
Yes, sir.
Many people came to us. Hopefully on Instagram Live, you know what I'm saying, we could play 2 tracks that we feel like represent truly East London music, you know what I'm saying, and they really putting on East London, you know what I'm saying. Valentino RSA from
Let's
East
go,
London,
champ.
and of course Libo from here,
Capital
who is
Gaze.
Capital Gaze, you know,
Okay.
on Instagram Live. So please, guys, if you're cool with that, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I mean, well, I have the time now. I'm not rushing anyway. So you can play it.
Okay, guys, please do catch us on Instagram Live at the
go, champ.
mandate underscore the underscore the
Man,
mandate.
the
Yes.
underscore man underscore.
I said it right the
date.
first time.
You said the underscore mandate.
You know what the
Then-
mandate is.
And do you ever like since there's a lot of artists that come up from SoundCloud, do you ever just like take a day or whenever you have time? Oh, let me check who's new
Yo,
on SoundCloud.
I haven't checked SoundCloud in a long time, and I
Ah,
won't
guys.
lie. And
Ah,
I
guys.
know that's my fault. Like I'm slacking on that.
Eh.
Because I know there are a lot of kids who come up on SoundCloud, and I think it's an amazing platform for those kids who are also trying to get themselves out there without having like proper like iTunes resources or whatever the case may be. So keep uploading on SoundCloud. Unfortunately, I don't do it as often,
Yeah.
but it's not to say that nobody else is checking it out because I know a lot of the DJs, a lot of the SA hip hop DJs are definitely checking SoundCloud links. Like Zandy is one of those people who's always on there. Timber Lunacy is always on there. I know Dimples also checks it quite often. So just because I'm not there doesn't mean somebody else isn't there.
Yeah.
But I will try to like up my game. It's just difficult.
Like with being so busy, do you ever find it difficult to get into relationships?
No, because then you just have to date someone who's just as busy as you.
Phew.
That's it.
If you're busy 24 hours a day.
It's not 24 hours. I mean, at the end of the day, at some point, you also decide, okay, I'm done with work for now. Switch off, go home, chill. You know, you have to eat at some point. You have to sleep at some point. So,
Hey,
you know.
okay,
I love
yeah,
that you brought that
True.
up. Actually, you know, it really gives opportunity
Yeah.
to show
Slide
her
into
one of our
DM.
favorite
Oh,
segments.
okay. We were on 2 different pages, but it's fine. It's fine.
To show you one of our favorite ever segments. You know what I'm saying? This
Ooh,
is
yes,
basically when you get to shoot your shot. You
Ooh.
know what I'm saying? You know, there's a risk it all out there. Please, Brother Bear, explain.
So we
risk
have
it
2
all.
very loved segments on the show. One is called Risk It All. And now Risk It All means if there was one person, South Africa obviously, who would come knocking on your door,
Oh, no.
you would leave your husband, your children, your wife, your whatever. Leave them all for this one person.
No.
No one.
You don't have a risk at all.
No.
A
In
risk-
South Africa.
Whoa.
Ah!
What's wrong with South African men?
South African man.
Everything.
Up your game. Ms Cosmo,
Everything.
what's that? What's
Everything.
the hottest man alive? Michael B.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B.
I mean, I
I
could have risked it for him a couple of times,
Who would you
but
leave here in South Africa for Michael B. Jordan?
wow, what are you asking me?
I'm saying, like, if they say, hey, we can take Michael, we just want Casper.
Oh, really couldn't be bothered. They can take anybody.
Ah,
I'm not too stressed.
really?
I personally want to say, my crush,
Who's your crush?
it's Rouge, guys. It's
Ah!
Rouge. Like, yo, like,
Every single episode, he
Rouge.
mentions Rouge.
yeah.
He never changes.
So you should interview her. She should definitely come through.
No, I start blushing all the time.
Yeah,
I just
I
like,
mean,
Would you shoot your shot?
no, I'm scared. I'm scared.
Nah, she's cool. She's cool people. Trust me.
No. Oh, so she should go for me, eh?
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, like,
Oh, okay.
Don't you- why you crushing his
I'm
dreams
saying
like
she
that?
would come for the interview.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
But like for my boy.
Yeah,
No, she has a boyfriend.
Ooh, change your risk at all. No. Change your risk at all. Who's is taken?
I'm not changing.
Do you think
man.
she'll
She's
risk
the
it all
only
for
one
you?
for me, man.
Do you think she'll risk it all for you? Wait, you go knocking on her door now.
Where does she live? Tell me where she lives. And
Wow,
I'll go knocking on.
that's not happening.
That was slick. That was
Yeah,
slick.
I thought she was
bro.
gonna go. Who's yours, man?
Ooh. A mommy. What a child.
Mm.
Yellow bone. Whew.
You ready to be a stepfather?
For her. And I say this a lot.
Mm.
She is the only person I'd be a stepfather for.
Well, to see.
No.
Why were you stealing from MT?
Oh.
Tini. Untando Duma.
Really? I
Whoa.
didn't expect that to come out of your mouth.
Whoa.
No. I have nothing. I think she's beautiful. I have
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, yeah.
It's just every time people have like a crush and you say yellow bone, it always goes
Pearl
straight to Pearl
Tusi.
Tusi.
But
That's why I
Ntando-
thought it was her. But no, Dando's beautiful. Like,
But she's in
yeah.
a relationship.
And she's
So-
an amazing person, Chef.
Mm.
She's so down to earth. She's amazing.
And you like Pearl
Yeah.
Tusi as well, do you?
Yeah.
So,
Huh?
so you
Yeah.
talk
Pearl
to
Tusi
Dando
as well.
for me, ne? Like, there's this guy
No,
who's in our
not
podcast
really.
who likes
That's
you.
you'd have to do that yourself.
Ooh. So that wouldn't work. Like
What?
if someone like one of your friends
No,
comes to you and is like, "Hey, I'm
I don't do that thing.
Ooh.
No,
So are you
you have to man up. Otherwise, what's the point? You getting someone else to do your job for you?
on Tinder?
No.
Okay. I just want to know. Sometimes
No.
celebrities, try finding love.
No, not like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So
Yeah.
we have another love segment. You know what this is, Brother Bear?
What is it, bro?
It's called Crumbs and No Crumbs.
Yeah.
And now, this means, Ms Cosmo, please. But this means that if you had tea or coffee and you had scones,
Mm,
if you dip your tea in the scone, or dip your scone in the tea,
yeah.
that means you crumbs. And if you don't do that, that means you no crumbs.
Yes, sir.
So, Ms Cosmo, South Africa wants to know, are you crumbs or no crumbs?
What does it mean though?
If you dip it, you don't mind the crumbs. Because when you dip,
Okay. Oh, that's what you
not in a
mean.
nasty way, of
Yeah,
course.
I thought maybe it had a double meaning.
No,
Yeah, I mean, I've
Kinda
done
does, no?
done it before. It's very old school, but like, yeah, I do dip here and there depending on what I'm eating.
Wow, 'cause I really appreciate that. Means you're no crumb.
That means she's crumbs.
Wow.
She dips the tea. And obviously I'm crumbs.
Okay.
'Cause we
Why
like to
he
say-
doesn't?
Oh,
No.
him.
Me and Ruja, we wouldn't do that.
Do you think Rouge is no crumbs?
Yeah, definitely.
No.
Definitely.
Nah. A lot of people are crumbs. And with that, we categorize everybody in the world
Mm.
to two types of people.
Okay.
There's
And we
people who
see-
dip and people who don't dip.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying me and you are very familiar.
Wow.
We probably like the same things.
Wow. Because
Oh.
of tea and scones.
That means, Galoko, but if you don't mind the crumbs, you like to cuddle. If you do mind the crumbs,
Wow.
you might be doing some other things.
Hey, man.
So that's what I'm saying. But me and you are like the same thing.
Mm.
Sure.
Do we?
I don't know.
Come on, Ms Cosmo.
I'm not sure.
Firstly, Ms. Cosmo, we just like appreciate you firstly for
Okay.
coming for this interview. You are our first interview at AM Studios, and really appreciate you for
Let's
being
go,
here.
champ. Let's
we
go,
look up to
champ.
you.
Let's go.
I don't want to say we love you because I don't want you to reject me in front of people.
No,
But
man.
really.
I mean, like, love and support is one thing. It's different if it was a romantic type of thing.
Okay,
but
Ms.
yeah.
Cosmo, I love you, man. What's up?
Ah!
Otherwise,
the
truly-
voice gets a little lower. The eyes start doing this.
Thank you for coming through, man. This has been the mandate. Otherwise, guys, this is your boy, Tobing Nabaletuli Bomukanye, product to the East himself, king
Yes,
of Southern West
sir.
Street to else, the only boy who drinks his fine touch today, James Bond. Shaken, not stirred.
Sheesh. And you've been listening to the mandate. Easy.